Is it working? I think so. I don't know. All right. I think I'm live. What's going on YouTube? Grand rising to all y'all. I was supposed to have been made this video, but I had an issue with my wife. I had to have the box changed. I had to have tech come over, check my connection, all that other stuff. But it's done and I'm here. So let's begin. So as you can see from the title, we're going to talk about the public in general being manipulated by people that just tell lies basically for a living, right? So more often than not, we the public are lied to, right? And there's usually nothing you can do about it, right? You're told a lie, you're made to believe it's the truth. They don't necessarily tell you what I'm saying is true, but at the same time, that is your perception that you've been given the truth. Now, you might ask, what can you do about being lied to, especially on a large scale? Well, that's another video for another day. We are lied to by politicians, policymakers, and the media to no end. Now, I used to be a rather rabid, I would say, sports fan, especially football, basketball, um, actually like hockey as well, right? I like sports, I usually have some type of cap on that has, either a football team, a basketball team. I have a couple of hockey ones as well. I have baseball, I have a serious hat collection. Why? Because I love sports. It's not just, of course, they go with my attire, whatever, but I buy them because I actually like sports. But I used to be crazy about sports before. Like I would never miss a game. Um, you know, my two youngest sons were both um, in football before COVID for like 2 seasons straight. Um, both team, both the teams that they were on actually won their league. So that was like a big thing for me. But a lot of people say sports is rigged, right? Now that's not science fiction. That's a fact. It's the thing about it is we've come to believe that everything we see, you think, well, yeah, a lot of these guys are athletic. That's true. That you can't take that away from them. But some of the things you see, it's basically right. You're being offered an illusion, and why I say that is because I've seen the information before, but I recently came upon a video that was kind of explaining it even better. And let me just play a clip of it for you so you can see for yourself. Now, this is from the channel of a person who I've been, how should I say, in communication with, and I would consider a brother for at least 9 years, right? This is from Brother Theo's channel. So when you watch this, understand that I have a long-standing relationship with this dude. And when he brings something up, obviously, you have to take that information at face value. You don't really doubt it and be like, oh, well, he's trying to be facetious, or, like I said, people lie. So, you have to be careful. Um, but the reason I put the title like that is because, everybody lies, right? It's just about what are they gonna lie about? Like, let me just show you this so you can see for yourself. Uh,
The ticket you purchase to a sporting event is actually just a license to see the listed event. In other words, if you buy a ticket to a Major League Baseball game, the league and the team's only obligation is to play a baseball game. It doesn't mean the league's rules have to be followed, or that certain athletes need to appear or perform, or the game played even needs to be legitimate. They just need to show up and put on an exhibition of baseball rather than, say, a volleyball game, and Major League Baseball has fulfilled its duty to the ticket purchaser. Don't believe me? This has been proven in court with the Spygate lawsuit. In that case, a New York Jets fan sued the New England Patriots for illegally, by the NFL's rules, videotaping their opponent's coaching signals. The lawsuit asked for the Jets ticket holders' money back from the past 10 years' worth of games, the duration of the Patriots cheating via this videotaping scheme. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals' main conclusion in this case was the following. At best, he, the plaintiff, possessed nothing more than the contractual right to a seat from which to watch an NFL game between the Jets and the Patriots, and this right was clearly honored. The plaintiff possessed either a license or at best a contractual right to enter Giant Stadium and to have a seat from which to watch a professional football game. In the clear language of the ticket stub, this ticket only grants entry into the stadium and a spectator's seat for the specified NFL game. The plaintiff actually was allowed to enter the stadium and witness the specified NFL game between the Jets and the Patriots. He thereby suffered no cognizable injury to a legally protected right or interest. The judge went on to conclude, we do not condone the conduct on the part of the Patriots and the team's head coach, and we likewise refrain from assessing whether the NFL sanctions and its alleged destruction of the videotapes themselves were otherwise appropriate. We further recognize that professional football, like other professional sports, is a multi-billion-dollar business. In turn, ticket holders and other fans may have legitimate issues with the manner in which they are treated. Significantly, our ruling also does not leave the plaintiff and other ticket holders without any recourse. Instead, fans could speak out against the Patriots, their coach, and the NFL itself. In fact, they could even go so far as to refuse to purchase tickets or NFL-related merchandise. However, the one thing they cannot do is bring a legal action in a court of law. And if that's the best protection a ticket provides,
Right. So we have a legal determination that even if a team cheats according to their own rules, you as a ticket holder that attended that game, right? You have no legal leg to stand on to even pursue any type of damages for being fooled, right? Just think using linear logic, as I'd say, and come to your own conclusions, right? How many times have you heard somebody running for office, right? They make all these campaign promises to you. Go ahead, you vote, or maybe you don't, whatever, doesn't matter, right? You vote or you don't, this person gets into office. This person stays 1 term, 2 terms, 3 terms, maybe 4. If it's the presidency, obviously it's just 2 terms, right? That campaign promise is never fulfilled, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Right? When you were a child, it was easy for someone to say something to you to manipulate you, right? Because why? You have childlike thinking, you think like a child. So hey, somebody says something, I promise you're gonna do this, promise you're gonna do that. You really don't hold it against them. Yeah, you'll be mad, but you're a kid. You know what I mean? You're a child, so you let it go. It's not a big deal. But once you get to be an adult, you have to take a certain amount of responsibility for your thought process, right? You cannot let people continue to fool you and just be okay with it. As I said, what you do about it, that might be different for everybody. So let me run a couple of scenarios by you, right? And actually wrote it down just so I wouldn't forget. A woman goes to see her physician because she's suffering from smelly discharge, which is ew. She doesn't tell him or her, the physician, listen, I was with these guys. There's more than one of them. We didn't use protection. I think I got something from one of the guys. No, they're not going to say that because obviously she says that the physician, even if he is her primary care doctor, or even maybe she went to a clinic, they will have a perception of that person, right? So immediately they just decide to, you know, smooth over the truth, right? Whatever that truth is, they don't tell. Another scenario, you have a potential client that goes to an attorney about suing a large corporation, right? This unscrupulous attorney says, okay, I'll take a look at it, and I'll get back to you. Instead of doing that, what does the attorney do? Contacts the corporation, says, hey, I have this person here, seems to have a case against you for ABC, whatever it is, right? If we pursue this, it's going to be, you know, really bad on your end. Why don't you give me whatever and, I'll just kick the case away. Right? So everybody lies, but it's about what? Another scenario, you have a woman who is blocks away from the catastrophe on 9/11, right? Soon after, she develops shingles, um, then cancer, right? Which is terrible. They put up a fund, obviously, I think maybe people know about this, people that were affected, the first responders, whether it's firemen, police officers, paramedics, people that went into the pile to help anybody that was in close proximity. A lot of these people got sick and died, unfortunately. Um, so this woman who was right there working, she wasn't in the building, but she was, let's say, a block away. She comes down with these illnesses, applies to the fund, and gets denied. Say, oh, well, we don't think that you developed these illnesses due to you being within this close proximity. However, there's another woman who is living in New Jersey, not anywhere near the site, loses a relative, but due to the stress of a lost loved one and blah, 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 etc., she applies to the fund and gets money, right? These are things that have actually happened, right? Now, why is the woman denied? I don't know, maybe it's because of her ethnicity, maybe her socioeconomic status. They feel like, oh, well, if we give this woman this amount of money, then, she's going to live well, and we don't want that because, who's in charge of the fund and who are they handing the money out to? These are things that we don't look at, but these are things that I look at. In a lot of cases, the fix is in, and it's always been in. You have cases where there's actually stories about this online. You have guys that have shown that footballs and basketballs can be magnetized. They actually show you the video I showed a while ago. There's a portion of it where they show you actually how they do it from like start to finish. How they unlace the football, open it up, take out the bladder, wind this cord around it, put in the magnet, close it back up, and it's still within regulation weight when it's done. Now, obviously, they said it's not allowed, but I mean, it's like the ruling said. All they give you the right as an audience is to be there and watch the game, which is entertainment. They don't even have to follow their own rules. Even if the judge was somewhat disgusted with them, there's nothing that an audience can do. Are you not entertained? Right? Because that's all it is, entertainment. You know why um, there's certain artists, right? You always hear about them, they get promoted and then they blow up over other artists that you think probably perform and sing better than them. The fix is in, right? Even in sports, like you see one team performing, man, the whole team's doing good, and next thing you know, they get bumped off by a team that hasn't been performing that well. And you're like, yo, how did that even happen? Right? Basketball, same thing. You see these guys shooting the ball from mad far, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. Especially people like Steph Curry. And you wonder to yourself, like, huh, wonder if that's, possible. And then in the media, you have people reporting about a war, they're showing you footage, but then you're in a different country, you have no idea what's really happening. I mean, there are stations that have been busted using green screen saying that they're one place and they're really not. These are things that have actually happened. So we're not talking about the possibility of maybe it happened. We're saying that yes, it actually did happen. Right? The media has lied. Right? So as a person, you have to really keep your mind open to the possibility that when somebody says something, they're not being forthcoming. They're not telling you the truth. Now, me, I have a small channel. I come here to deliver nothing but the truth. Why? Because I don't really have an agenda but to just give you information that you might open up your mind, open up your eyes, and see things for what they really are. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, as an adult, like, I I abhor people that lie. It's like one of my pet peeves. I always tell my kids, like, don't lie to me. Like, I prefer you to tell me the truth, even if it's a hard truth. And we'll talk about it, we'll work around it, or work through it rather, and get to a better place. Like if my boys are having an argument, they fighting when they're not here, obviously, because it would never go down. But let's say they're at their mother's or whatever, and they get into some type of argument, turns physical, and then I call. The younger one says, "Oh, well, this happened." Speak to the older one. "Oh, no, it didn't happen this way." I'm like, one of you guys is lying, right? There was something was the catalyst, and then this happened. So tell me from the start, how did it happen? And just don't lie, because whatever the case is, y'all not supposed to be fighting anyways. So you know, but this happens in everyday life. People choose to tell you what they want to tell you, usually in order to manipulate you or tell something. Um, Let me give you a classical example. So I was out in public. I had a few of my business cards for selling, like wintertime. I gave a few people my cards. I had on one of my custom sneakers. I finally get a call, right? Somebody wants to buy one of them. It's like, oh, I'll pay you in cash or whatever. I'll meet up with you. And you know, if you have the sneakers that you was talking about, send me some pics and then we'll meet up. Did that. Um, so I go to the meet, and the guy at the box looks at it, examines it, da da da, everything's okay. Takes it, take the cash, counts it out in front of me, hands it to me. I take it, in my pocket because we're out in public. I don't see people looking at me taking money in public. And it was like 50, so counted it out, put it in my pocket. I left. Came home, took the money. I think I put it in the box. That has like kind of money and stuff in it. Recently, I was home. Um, I wanted to buy something, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna use my card. Let me just grab some cash from the box. Let me go buy it. So I grabbed the cash. I leave. I walk into the store. At first, I was on the phone. I hang up. Put the phone in my pocket. I grab the money. Start, trying to figure out how much I need to spend. And I look at one of the bills and I'm like, this bill look weird. I'm gonna pull it out. It feels weird. The bill was counterfeit. Turns out of the money that he gave me, there were like, what is it, four? Yeah, like 4 20s that were fake. So I think it's 4 or 5. I think it was 5. So instead of actually getting $350 for what I gave him, actually got $250. Anyhow, keep your eyes open. You know, keep your senses about you. Don't let people just, tell you whatever or say what, that will give you a false narrative, just for likes. So they'll do it just to get views. They'll lie for different reasons. I don't really have, a reason to do any of those things. So I would just advise you to, seek out the truth, always seek out the truth, try to find out the truth of things. If you like the video, you comment, subscribe, leave a like, but keep your eyes open and keep your mind open. Not to just be manipulated, but to the possibility that whenever somebody says something, they're trying to manipulate you. Peace.